Alright, so what's up guys? So we are out here on another run, out here doing this craziness for all you guys who simply sit back, watch, admire, and enjoy as we're making our way through these puddles and not trying to get into a mess and not get hit by this car coming right in front of us. And, you know, make it safely, make it okay, make our day good. Right? Especially for our workout, right? Because that's what we're doing out here. We're running and, you know, doing our thing, trying to make our body faster, stronger, better looking, of course. And, you know, as far as for you, you're probably in the gym, right? You're there working out, trying to improve yourself. I am too. And, you know, I am no longer a teenager, right? I'm an older mid-20s dude. And, you know, I was working out in the gym during my teenage years, and, you know, there's certain things that, you know, I learned along the way and that I wish I knew right back then. But don't worry, because we are going to give you 4 pieces of gym advice for teenagers. Right? It's such a crucial period in your development, right, as far as your body, because those years, your teenage years, you know, set the groundwork for the rest of your life pretty much, right? At least, bare minimum, your 20s, right? It's such a crucial period, right? Right before you hit your athletic prime per se, right? Your teenagers are still working and developing, right? And developing those tools and habits. So, without further ado, tip number 1, as far as advice for some teenagers, is to slow down. Right? Far too often when we're teenagers, we can try to do so much, right? We have so much potential, so much, you know, chances to improve and get better. And oftentimes, so many of us are just starting out then. And, you know, for many of us, you really have to think and process what you're doing, because if you're not, you let things just go with the flow per se, you might get lost and carried away and almost trip like how we almost did. But, you know, who cares? And for you, you really have to think about it, right? Take that into account and work on yourself, right? Because we can learn these quick, like 5-minute ab videos and routines and so forth, and quick fixes, right? But, you know, as far as the gym is concerned, that doesn't exist, right? The gym is there for you to go and put in the work and work hard, right? Not for you to take shortcuts, right? And in your teenage years, you could fall susceptible to believing that, because you don't have so much experience that you build throughout your 20s and even 30s, right? Every year that you're in the gym, it's gonna be another year of experience, right? You're gonna come back, you know, a lot wiser, with more, you know, of an understanding of what it is you're doing. So if you simply slow down and acknowledge that fact, right, that you still have a lot to learn, you're gonna be on your way to picking up new information, right? Because, you know, you have so much potential, like we mentioned before, right? You have, you know, pretty much the world at your feet. But, you know, if you mess things up, you start developing the wrong habits, you're gonna be on your way, you know, to not the greatest 20s, which is when you'll probably hit your prime and your stride. And, you know, this coincides with tip number 2, as we mentioned before, as far as, you know, slowing down and not letting your pride, your ego get in the way. Because for so many of us, our egos can even prevent us from going into the gym, right? It can make us feel almost like we're too good for it, right? That we're good because we don't put our time into that, right? We don't waste time in the gym like some people may believe. And when you're a teenager, you have a bunch of other pressures, right? To play video games, right? To figure out what you're gonna do for college or in college, right? Your education. There's so much unknowns but you haven't really fully developed your mind and your knowledge, right? You don't have, for many of you, right, some get it earlier than others, right? They develop an emotional maturity, right? They know how to handle pain and suffering, right? And success as well. That requires maturity, right? And people think that success is great, right? Anybody would feel awesome doing it, but you got to realize that the success isn't everything, right? While it may feel great to win, it's not, the end all be all, right? You got to think about the process of getting to that success, right? Not so much about the results. And that's when the ego can come in, because when we start to win over and over again, our ego can inflate, right? Can make us feel, almost like, I wouldn't necessarily say that we feel more important than we actually are, but it's kind of true, right? You almost feel like, an immortal figure, or someone like a god perhaps, that can do no wrong, that the world, owes something to, right? That, people should give you something. But guess what happens? Not everyone is going to give you a pat on the back and give you rewards. Some people just simply aren't. And when they don't, it can be destructive, right? Especially if you have an ego, right? And then you start to lose, you start to fail, right? You start to mess up in the gym, right? You stop getting so much gains and you begin to hurt. And that could be catastrophic, right? And that even coincides with tip number 3 as far as advice for teenagers, is knowing how to handle the highs and the lows of the gym, right? For so many of us, when we wake up, we can feel like crap and not want to go to the gym. That's a low, right? That happens to me still to this day. And other times, you wake up on a high. You feel so excited to go to the gym. You can't wait to do it, right? It's something you're looking forward to. And that can oscillate, right? Almost so much out of your own control. But you have to realize that those ups and downs are gonna happen, right? You can't get caught up in them, right? You can't get caught up in that new PR that you just hit, or failing at the bench press, right? Having that bar sit on your chest when you get so ego tied that you want to try a higher weight and a higher weight, and you see your friend bench press 2 plates and 3 plates, but you're not ready for it yet. You can't do it. So as a teenager, you can be naive in thinking that you're ready for it. And when that low happens, when you're not achieving it, you're not getting there, it could feel like total crap. But you have to realize that it's okay, right? Because as a teenager, one thing that you have over anything, right, especially in that time period, is the amount of time you have left, right? You have so much ahead of you, so many experiences that you simply haven't gone through, right, that are awaiting you. And it's not bad if you don't know, right? Don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask for that help when you need it, because everyone, regardless of what age you're at, needs it. And for that, especially as a teenager, you're gonna need that help. And when it comes to the gym, right, which is tip number 4, is to ask for help, right? Seek mentorship and guidance from other people in the gym, right, that inspire you, hopefully. And from then you will have a role model, right? Someone to copy and emulate their success, right? You do what they're doing, you copy their steps and their workouts. Guess what? You're probably gonna have the same results as them, right? That same muscle mass and biceps, so forth, right? Always be learning, right? The day you stop doing that is a really bad day for you, because your growth is going to be hindered. But as a teenager, there's some of the most crucial periods, right? You almost have to lay the groundwork, right? Develop a blueprint, right? And even if you spend your whole teens and don't really figure it out, it's okay, because you're working towards it. So many people, you know, don't still know what they're doing, what they're capable of, well into their 20s and 30s. But as teenagers, there's still a lot of room for improvement for us. So, you know, these are the 4 tips for our teenagers in regards to the gym, right? So you can make some gains, get faster, stronger, and better. And, you know, without further ado, say thank you very much and goodbye.